Hey everyone, I just received what I'm hoping to be something similar to a dream guitar by the Abasi guitars. The other things that I looked at are Strandbergs, I looked at Jackson, I looked at Charvel, I looked at Mayonnaise, I even looked at Aristides, but I keep going back to the specs for this guitar specifically. The 25.5 to 27 inches more of what I wanted. I didn't want the super long bass feel that some 30-inch guitars might bring. I also kept coming back to the sound of the Fishman Abasis, and like design elements were a lot stronger. It didn't feel like it was a 6-string guitar that they stretched out and made it something different. It felt like it was still going to be playable from a standard guitar perspective. I enjoy metal, and I'll do the low end chugging type of stuff, but I'm equally as jazz oriented, extended chord oriented. I'm a 5-string bass player as much, so having that ability to play from more positions on the neck is going to be helpful. It's not just about the reaching to that low E that I'll probably be tuning it to. It's also about having the ability to run those extra 2 strings through a specific arpeggio, through a specific run, a specific lick, or just reference alternative chord voicings. So that kind of meant the Abasi lined up for me. I really liked the idea of a single cut. Being a Les Paul player, I kind of like that vibe. I like the shape of the body. I like that it's a dual humbucker design, which is kind of where I'm comfortable. I always joke with friends that I feel like when I play single coils, I'm kind of strangling the guitar. So this kind of felt like probably more in my wheelhouse. The thing that I've been looking for in a guitar for 5 years or more is green. It checked that final box of, wow, this is just a really functional guitar, I'm hoping. It's also going to be aesthetically, artistically beautiful, I'm hoping. I bought it about a week and a half ago. The drop process they do is a little stressful to me. They drop things every couple of months in pretty limited quantities. They have what I would describe as a production bottleneck, where my understanding is they're renting out space in lines from other pro luthiers that build premium guitars. So they're essentially fitting in the line when they get an opportunity to. Looking at all the other guitar brands that I was checking out, I don't think that Abasi sets too far apart from the rest of the pack. The only really notable difference that I saw with customer service came from Aristides. They seemed way above everybody else. They seemed to really value the customer. They were excited to answer questions. By comparison, even certain specs that I was trying to get from Abasi, they weren't able to share it. I kind of wonder if they're trying to protect it on purpose to prevent duplication or copying, because my understanding is they paid a design firm to build this guitar, from a blueprinting design perspective. Obviously not from a production side. So maybe they're sensitive about that. To me, that's a plus, and they can kind of use that as a marketing technique to say, hey, we can't share this. Here's why. We're being careful with our designs. It may not be a big deal for other people, but coming into this, I had a couple of specific specs that I wanted to hit. And I would have felt a little bit better had I known those things. So, customer service end on the front, it wasn't terrible. I don't feel like they were dishonest. I don't feel like that they were annoyed that I was reaching out to them asking questions. I just didn't feel like they had things totally nailed down, and sometimes when they were trying to explain, it felt like they were kind of riffing off of ideas instead of saying this is what you should expect. So with that, let's dive into cracking this guitar open. Received it from UPS today. Right off the bat, there is this shock watch warning. It is flashing as red, meaning that it was probably handled a little bit rough. That's a little bit of a concern to me. I'm hoping it doesn't damage the guitar, because it should be in a hard shell case. It should be a durable instrument. I don't see it as a huge risk, but let's go ahead and crack this thing open. All right, so here we go. Hard shell case. It looks pretty similar to Schecter. Having owned a couple of those in the past, it has the branding on the side, has a nice hang tag here. It says Abasi across the top. You can also see that they did a plastic bag job to make sure it's moisture tight, as packaged well as possible. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open.
Oh my God.
Here we go. Guitar case is open. Here is the famed Larada. As you can see, it's that really, really cool green color. I'm so excited to get a chance to play this later. It's been out in the cold. I'm in the Midwest here, so it's not exactly the warmest weather here in mid-February. It has a charger for the Fluents because they are a powered pickup, as they call it. Besides that, just a quick glance at the guitar, it just looks absolutely incredible. Really cool two-tone gloss matte finish. Really pristine, really good craftsmanship at first look. In part 2 of the next video, I'm going to give it a little bit of a deeper dive and really get into, what are the specs of this thing? How does it feel from the perspective of a user? I feel like I'll probably be a solid middle of the road evaluation, not a beginner, not an expert, not by any means a professional musician. So stay tuned and we'll see what happens next. Thanks, guys.